Hey, everybody. I just wanted to make a brief announcement today, which is something to look out for from next Friday in Australia, Thursday in the US onwards. I'm going to be adding a new element to my daily leadership broadcast, Time with Tim, which is going to be entitled Time on the Terrain. Now, this has kind of been a joint provocation. This sort of conversation that I listened to with Shane Parrish on his podcast, talking about the difference as a leader between looking at the map and looking at the terrain. And I'll go into that in a little bit more detail in the first of these next week, what those two definitions mean. And I think particularly the context of them for leaders and why it's important to ultimately spend time with both. But I think right now, and arguably always, spending the right amount of time on the terrain and the benefits for leadership of that. But really, it's also come, that's the kind of philosophical part. It's also come from now what has become quite an expansive series of conversations with clients of mine, typically C-level leaders or entrepreneurs who are really trying to figure out what's going on right now, trying to sort of stare through the fog of uncertainty that we're all living in right now and to figure out where's the way forward and what to do and how to plan and how to strategize and then how to communicate to their teams and businesses. This is where we're headed. This is what we think is coming. So what I've been doing is essentially in the conversations I'm having, I'm trying to get an understanding of the context that each of these leaders is dealing with right now. And then what I aim to do on this weekly basis is essentially talk through all of these different perspectives, sort of collectivize the wisdom that comes from all of these conversations I'm having on a weekly basis, and then say, right, this is what I've seen in my time on the terrain this week. And that's going to be with leaders in Australia, in America, in the UK, and potentially further afield as well. And I think, if you're used to my delivery, you'll find, I hope, a similar level of humility and honesty and a little bit of silliness from time to time, but also a lot of information and certainly my own perspective and viewpoint on what all of this stuff means. But it's really an opportunity for you to dial in to this collective wisdom that I'll be compiling, of leaders in the business world, in the public sector, in the not-for-profit world, and find out where we're headed, what's coming, and to try and give you, a line of sight a little bit further ahead. And I hope that that'll be helpful just as something to dial into on a weekly basis. I hope that's been helpful. I'll sign off for now, and I'll see you next Friday for the very first Time on the Terrain. See you there.